Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to learn how to do some floral strips. Floral strips are really great for beginners. You'll see a lot of experienced henna artists do them. They're very quick and easy to do, so they're very common at parties. So I'm just going to dive right into this. Very good for beginners. I'm going to teach you a couple of little pieces that I'm going to use in the floral strip, and then we'll go ahead and put them all together. So one of the first pieces that we're going to use in the floral strip is going to be a Paisley. I've already made a beginner's Paisley video, so I'm not going to go too much into that piece. I'm just going to demo it one time, and if you need a little bit more review on the Paisley, I'll go ahead and link that video down below. So let's start with a simple Paisley here. And this is how I prefer to do my Paisleys. Very easy. And this is a piece of scrap paper. It's just an envelope that I had lying around. So I'm using this just to show you the pieces, and then I'll switch on over to the practice hand to show you the completed design. So the next piece is going to be a simple swirl, which is the same as right there on top of that Paisley, which is just going to be one of these guys. So I'll move that closer to the camera so you can see. And in this design I'm using bold lines because those are easier to work with. However, once you get a little bit more experience, you can switch between bold lines and thinner lines to give your design a little bit more depth. And so the next one is going to be a, I don't really have a name for this, but you'll find these a lot in India henna. So it's just one of those. And you can do those in a couple of different directions here. So it's just a curved line. You stop, come down one line, and then go back in. And you see this one here has got more angles to it. That one's got a kind of a curve on the top of it. I want it to look more like a curve. I don't want it to be so sharp. So I'm going to go up, stop, round that edge, stop, round that edge, and bring it back in. And these are usually accompanied by a swirl. So in our floral strip, those two pieces will be together. Okay? The next accent piece is just going to start with a curved line, like so. And then we're going to go into that top of that curved line and put what I call some gingerbread on top of that. But we're not going to do gingerbread all the way to the end. We're going to do it to about that point, and then we're just going to put a curved line there, like so. Let's go ahead and do that again. Curved line. Let's get some gingerbread in there. And then one of those. So it's just kind of like one of those motions like that. So there's that curved line again. The end of it's going to look like that. So if you prefer to do the end first and then go in with the gingerbread, you can do that too. These are very common in Indian henna as well. And then the last piece, which is going to combine two of the elements that we've already done, is going to be a flower. And that flower is going to start with a swirl. It's just a simple swirl that goes around itself. And this flower, we're not going to go all the way around the swirl and complete the flower. It's going to be kind of like a half flower because it's going to be stuck between some of the elements that we've already done, so we won't need to complete a whole flower. And for those of you who are interested in seeing the completed design, I'll go ahead and put a copy of it on my blog so you can print it out and play around with it and practice yourself. So I'm going to turn this a little bit so it's a little bit easier for you to see. So we're going to do 2 rows of gingerbread, and we're only going to do half the circle here. Okay, like so. My hand is getting a little watery there. Okay, and then we're going to come in with some petals. Like that. Very simple, very easy. I'm going to do it again. My cone got a little watery there. When I practice, I do use cones that are old, and so sometimes the liquid does separate a little bit and blobs come out. But if you're using fresh cones, you should not experience that issue. But I do like to use my old cones so the henna does not go to waste. So pretty simple. So it's a swirl, some gingerbread, which is just these guys. That's what I call it. Other henna artists may call it something different. Second row of gingerbread, and then petals, which are basically this shape. They're just kind of some square looking U's. The letter U, but it looks kind of square. So that's basically it. So let's go ahead and practice for the first time on the practice hand and do this design here that combines some of these elements here. So here's my practice hand. So I'm just going to adjust the camera here so you can both see what's going on. Alright, so the most popular style of the floral strips comes from this part of the hand and kind of goes up the finger, the pointer finger. You can do it from the middle finger down. You can do several rows of floral strips. Those are lots of fun. You'll see those a lot in bridal work. Or you can do floral strips from here to the pointer finger and then do floral strips down each finger. Those are pretty common as well, but I've already drawn out a pattern that I'm going to do to make it easy for us, and then you can go ahead and print, like I said, a copy of that pattern off from my blog if you'd like. So let's go ahead and start with this Paisley here. I'm not going to fill it in because this is a beginner's video. However, if you would like to fill it in, you're more than welcome to do so. We're going to get that swirl in here that we practiced earlier, and we're going to join the two. And then we're going to do that shape that I don't have a name for, but is very common in Indian henna, that has those rounded corners. And then we're going to bring it back together. And then we're going to do the half flower. And it's a half flower now, you understand why, because it's stuck between two pieces, so we don't need to do the whole flower. So we're going to do 2 layers of gingerbread, though you may do 1 layer of gingerbread if you'd like, or 1 row of gingerbread. And I'll tell you why I call it gingerbread probably in another video. I'll explain basic shapes and kind of give them names. And then we're going to do those squared U-shaped petals. And you can put something inside the petals. You can do dots or do some shading if you've gotten to that stage in your henna designing. But we're just going to leave them open for now because, like I said, it's a very, very beginner's video. Okay? And now we're going to go on to the next section, which is going to pretty much look the same, but we're going to do a paisley in the opposite direction. And that paisley is going to connect with 2 of these petals here. And this is basically going to repeat itself over and over and over again. What's going to change is we're going to add this element in of that curved line, and then we're going to do that gingerbread on that curved line. Like so. Like that. Then we're going to give a swirl over here. And then we're going to do one of these guys that I don't have a name for. If you have a name for it, let me know. I'd like to have a name for that shape. And then we're going to go in with a half flower. Alright, cone, cooperate. Okay, there we go. And a tip for beginners, if you find that your cone gets clogged, pinch the tip of it. That's why I always have paper. Some sort of paper. I used to do it with my fingers, but I recently stopped doing that. Don't know why. Just changed it up a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Changing your habits. So, I'm going to go ahead and put some square-shaped U's on there. And so we've done 2 pieces of our floral strip, and we're going to keep going. You can switch this up a little bit or add in some elements that you like yourself. I'm going to go ahead and put a paisley in the opposite direction in which I did this one. We're going to do that curved line here. And do some gingerbread on the curved line. And finish it off there at the top. We're going to do a swirl in that shape that I have no name for. You see how easy this is? It's very, very repetitive, but it's very, very, very easy. In my beginner henna series, I have been focusing a lot on design, but I will be doing some other stuff in this series as well. You'll have to forgive me, I'm a little late getting some of these videos out because I got sick and lost my voice and could not stop coughing. This is the first day in which I haven't hacked up a lung, so I'm just getting back on track. So if my voice sounds a little bit husky, please forgive me. I'm just getting over something that's like a cold or a flu. It's the most awful thing ever. But anyway, back to the video on the floral strip here. I'm going to go ahead and put a paisley in here, but I'm going to do it in the same direction which I did the previous one, just because I think it fits better in the finger here. However, if you want to do it differently, if you want to do it in the opposite direction, that's your personal choice. It's just kind of a repetitive of the same few pieces over and over again, which is basically what a floral strip is. We're going to go in here with a curved line. Sometimes when you get to the fingers, you have to alter a design in order to get it to fit, and that's part of being a freehand henna artist, is that you can do things like that, and it becomes really easy for you. I'm going to come in here with this swirl, connect that there, put in that shape that we have no name for, unless you guys give me one. And I mean, that's pretty much it. You can add in some extra things, you can keep going. You can mix and match these elements, but really there isn't a lot of room left on that finger to put a flower in there, so I didn't do that. And then I'm going to put another one of these guys in here. And I would say that's pretty much finished. There'd probably be, if this were a real hand, there'd be a fingernail right there, so we would probably stop at this point. If I wanted to elaborate a little bit more, I'd probably put some dots in here and then come in here and do some finishing pieces, like maybe a swirl here, like so. And then the shape which has no name. I like that. I think it's cute. Maybe I'll just keep calling it that. But I would alter it by putting some dots in here. I really do like putting dots in my designs. It kind of finishes things off and makes it look more complete. It's not finished without a dot, really. Or you can put some little spears, like doing these guys. These are just some not really beginner things that I would teach. But it's just something to put in there to make it look extra special. And make the design look fun. So anyway, you guys let me know. If you try this design, please send me a picture, tag me on Instagram, and I'd love to look at what you do, or send me some pictures, email them to me, and I may include them in the blog post. I'll update that blog post, but everything is there. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and put them in the comments box or send me an email. My email address is down in the information box below. If you're at all interested in the practice hand that you see me using here, which is actually quite long, I've used just a small portion of it. It's available on my website at FreeHandMehndi.net, along with other henna supplies. I'll put a link to that in the information box. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Catch you later. Bye.